Hello there, I'm Blackbright, aka Dark Shades, and I decided to do this video because it was almost like a brainwave. And I'm not saying that what I am actually going to talk about is 100% correct, but I'd like to really learn from you guys whether you think I have a point. Now, this is about Black British men. I know I've done different videos, but I don't think I quite understood what I understand now. And I mean, we're learning all the time, and sometimes we can be reflective, and we can understand even more about people that we know or people that we live with. And the reason why I decided to do this video about black men resenting black women, and the real reason is because I think that if we understand what's happening as females, we can be more tolerant, I guess is the word. Now, what I came to the conclusion is that when you think about people in my age group, 50s, 60s, and the men that came with that, a lot of them, it was an era where a lot of mothers had to raise boy children on their own. Sometimes, and I'm talking about the ones who were raised by their parents, their mother in particular, as opposed to those black British men who were raised by the family. So I'm going to focus on those who was raised by their mothers. And when they were raised by their mothers, even as a female, because my mother tried to raise me by herself, and in the end she had to put me in a foster home because she couldn't work. Similarly, with the black male, black British male, and I'm focusing on black British only because I'm in Britain, I'm British, okay? The black British male who was abandoned by his mother, because remember, boys tend to be closer to their mothers than females. The females tend to go with their dads and the men tend to go with their mothers. So the black male whose mother has sent him away, whether it's sent him to another country or sent him to foster home or sent him to with aunties or relatives, he's going to have that withdrawal, that he's going to have attachment issues, put it that way. Then, just supposing that the person who's likely to be a woman, because women were the carers in those days, the woman that, or auntie or sister or whoever that person is who has taken on your son, doesn't treat him very well, mistreats him in fact, abuses him, exploits him, whatever. You've got now the mother who's abandoned. She doesn't realise this, she just thinks she's putting him in a safe place. You have the carer, whoever that person is, who's mistreating. Those two incidents set the standard for what the men will think of women. The most important person in his life has abandoned him, has left him, has put him somewhere, who doesn't, as far as he's concerned, doesn't care about him. So by the time, and then he's got maybe female teachers telling him what to do, female employers telling him what to do. And it's almost like the world is run by women who are telling you or he what to do. It reaches a point where he then has his first relationship. First relationships, very miraculous if they last, but there's always tends to be heartbreak, pain. That pain will be more powerful to somebody who hasn't had that close connection with his mother than it will be for somebody who has. So then that reinforces that women can't be relied on, that, you need them, but to need them, you have to compromise yourself. You always feel as though you have to bend in order to make the peace, or in order to keep that relationship going. And sometimes, even when they bend over, it still doesn't work out. And that happens in a series of relationships. Then they find that, okay, their mother is saying, look, you're grown, you need to find somewhere to live. A lot of mothers used to say that, go find yourself a woman, go find yourself somewhere to live. And some of them, the part I don't understand is why the men don't become self-sufficient at this point. Is it because their focus is so much on the women who have hurt them that they feel demotivated, demoralized? Is it because they feel that they have to depend on women for survival? Is it because they feel that women will always be a means to an end? I'm not sure about that one. But what I do feel is that what happens is, by the time they're in adults and they're dealing with women who may have their own homes, who may have a good job, who may have a car and all that kind of stuff, by that time the resentment has built in that they have to be dependent on that woman. And that means, like I said, them towing the line, otherwise they get kicked out, or having to obey, if they want to, for want of a better word. And so that builds resentment. Now you can ask yourself, okay, so what about white people? When they go to white people, a lot of these black British men, when they go to white women, those white women, it wasn't a white woman that stuck him in a home, was it? It wasn't a white woman who overly disciplined him. And normally it wasn't white women who betrayed and hurt him, because normally white women, when they see black men, they kind of boost their ego. They're like the sex object, so they kind of treat them and boost them up. So white women become the option. They make them feel good. They don't have to feel obligated. They don't have to feel as though they have to compromise their values. A white woman will tell them up front what they want, what they need, and they just know whether or not they can fulfill that. And sometimes if they can't fulfill it, they'll make sure that they do their best, their damn best, to fulfill the needs of that white woman. Because there's no history with white women per se, apart from a sexual history. But with black women, it's totally different. With black women, there is a history of control, cruelty, betrayal. And because of that association, it carries them through to adulthood. And that is why, in my opinion, they resent black women. And it might not come over in an obvious way. They might be as nice as pie. But what comes out of their mouths and these little snippets and these little things that they don't do is what they don't do that tells you who they are. Not what they do and not what they say. But a lot of times it's what they don't do, and sometimes it is what they say that helps you to understand where they're coming from. Tell me your thoughts. And that's all for now.